Oops, I realize.
Jeez, Jazz. Holding up the queue.
Oh, it's Hexagon. Yeah, it's one of my friends.
Yeah, MiG-21 multi-roll. Imagine that. Actually, the first flight I did in the MiG-21, on multiplayer anyway, was a co-op ground attack mission with G-Man. We ran that mission twice with different people. It's good fun. That's also the only time I've ever used this aircraft in ground attack, was with the rocket pods striking an air base. So I have done basically zero other ground attack in the MiG-21. And that will probably continue to be the case for a long time.
It's now a 3v3.
If only we had some GCI.
Oh.
Oh, I gotta change my overlay as well, since we're not in the Mirage anymore. There we go. I gotta do something for the MiG-21, but I haven't figured out what yet. Kind of thinking like my my Pepe laugh thing with the ET, I'll do something similar but holding a balalaika and in like a old school fucking Soviet interceptor pilot suit. Like the old school G suit with the high altitude helmet. Be out for those purposes for about a week, folks, for the holidays. Yeah, no worries, dude. It's all good. I've been having relative success just trying to find stuff using the shitty in-game AWACS, so it is doable, it's just more difficult. An R60? I mean, I could, but I kind of want to make it MiG-21 specific, so I feel like a balalaika would be a good one.
Ready?
God, that's so aesthetic. Oh, this is gonna be an issue.
What's that?
They're probably gonna be in the weeds, so AWACS is gonna have trouble seeing them. I didn't check which mission it was on the way in. Is it fucking the lakes one?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's painful. I'm above you, by the way.
Roger.
Gotta give him call-outs like this because visibility in the 21 is so bad. I'm gonna go right. There we go.
230. Oh, sorry, 1 and 5.
They're gonna be out over the lakes. That's where we'll find them. I'll just kind of fly in loose trail of you.
Yep.
Formation flying is risky enough for me already. Doing it in this with its twitchy nose is a really bad idea. turn it on at this point. I just leave it in standby. Kinda sucks the F5 doesn't have sparrows or something. It would totally outmatch this thing. What the F5 needs to really be kind of almost a true equal to the MiG-21 in most regards is another pair of pylons that can carry AIM-9s. Giving it 4 or 6 AIM-9s would make it much closer to the MiG-21. The radar's essentially the same in capability. Visibility's better in the F5.
My other guy left.
21's faster and better in the vertical, but the F5 does the horizontal a little better, at least usually. So they're pretty close to equal, but the MiG-21 can stay in the fight longer if you ignore the fuel issue, just because it carries more missiles, and the R60 is really good in a dogfight. Whereas the earlier AIM-9s are pretty shit in a close range fight. Well, 2-on-2 then.
Yep.
I gotta work on getting some more emote slots up. The one I've got now, I've got one currently free, but I want to use that for the "Hey, what are you doing" emote, but at the same time I need to find someone to do that. I haven't found anyone to commission for it yet, and I don't have the skill to do it myself, so we'll have to see. If I don't find someone to do it soon, I might just put that one on hold, make that like the next slot. Yeet! It's fine, you have better visibility now. How the fuck did you... How did you do that? What were you trying to click that did that?
So
Someone please click that for posterity.
Control, and for some reason thought to change the clickable cockpit back to non-clickable was left control C.
No, it's definitely not.
Yeah.
It's
Alright,
fine. You can see better now, and you can also hear them coming.
Sweet. I'll take it. Convertible MiG-21.
That was beautiful. That was so beautiful. I've done that a few times myself, but it's amazing to see it from another perspective. I've done it a couple times. Usually I lose it on takeoff because I forgot to pressurize it. I think I've done it once in flight because it was dark and I was trying to hit something and I hit the lever instead.
Shed some weight off. It's all good.
But, like, seriously though, aside from directly behind you because of the periscope being gone, you can literally see better without it. Like, yeah, really well. Thanks, Max. You can see why I don't really fly formation. I'm all over the place. This is about as close a formation as I'm capable of flying without being a hazard to myself and others. Was that you that just called?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely hot. RWR spike.
I'm not getting anything.
11 o'clock.
That's weird. He's getting it, but I'm not. Are you using the experimental behavior for the SPO 10, by the way?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not getting anything yet.
It's gonna bank left. Yeah, definitely it's left. Yeah, should be dead on now.
Yeah, that's the periscope, so I can see behind me, kind of. Yeah, now I'm getting it right off the nose. It's weird you picked him up so much earlier than me.
Yeah, it is.
I've just lost it again as well. I'm gonna pop the radar on. Fuck it.
Yeah, same. Turning left a little bit. Getting one on 7 o'clock. Zero at 6.
The 3-5. Check bags.
Yep.
Ditching mine. I'm gonna go low.
Roach. I'll follow.
Got him off the nose. ×2.
Rush.
Locked on the left.
Yes.
Take the right.
Taking right.
Okay, we got the R60 selected. We got no all aspects in the missions anymore. We got no semi-active and no all aspects. They got removed. I see 2 specs tracking right.
Yeah, I'll take lead. To
Yeah, I'm on trail. That won't make the turn.
splash.
Nice. Pulling
Merged.
in on mine. Oh, careless. Stalled it.
Closing in for a Fox 2. Bring him down.
Fox 2. Tracking. Missed. Guns.
Fox 2. Oh no, missed.
Break, he's on you. Fuck.
No, that's our friendly, I think. We got another friendly. Closing in for a
Guns.
second.
He's dead.
Nice. That's it. Nice shit.
So did you sledge yours in the head on?
Yeah,
Fuck,
I
isn't it?
came on his flank and I just sort of merged as he...
Oh yeah, I gotcha. Gotcha.
I merged with the other guy as I killed that other first one.
Rear vision out the 23 is going to be even worse because you've got the
Sounds so sick with no cockpit
fucking
canopy.
splitter ramps blocking your sides, and then the back has like a curtain and shit as well. Yeah, it is. Getting painted off my front left.
It's probably hexagon in the 21.
Are you still with me?
Yes, yep.
122 for 120. I'm just looking at my fuel. We should be okay.
Yeah, I'll be alright.
Gonna pick a little more altitude up. And see, as I move the TDC on the radar, the range gate on the site moves backwards and forwards, and as it closes
It's
in,
2v2 now.
you can see the breakaway light coming on for when you're getting too close to a target. And when it gets further out, you can see the pusk light coming on to tell me that I'm within acceptable launch range.
I think I lost you somehow.
2 flares.
Can't see him.
Weird. I'm just passing a river now, a small river. Hang on. I gotta repeat that, bogey dope. I wasn't paying attention to the altitude. That's Tbilisi. We should probably not be here.
Oh shit, yeah, okay, I see you now.
Yeah, I'm getting bra calls for our AWACS. We're right next to Tbilisi. We need to fuck off. Both for fuel reasons and not getting hit by SAM's reasons.
They'll probably be up soon anyway.
Going back to standby.
Yeah, same.
Okay, I've rolled out. I'm flying about 250.
Yeah, nice.
Got a decent amount of fuel at least.
Yeah, I'm sitting at about just under 2 gauge.
Really? I'm sitting at 2.5. Oh, mind you, I did punch off the tank with a little bit left in it, so it might be reading slightly high for me.
Yeah, sure.
Jazz must be behind me somewhere, I don't see him. Oh yep, there we go. I don't know if you guys can make it out, but there's a very faint second smoke trail behind me.
Behind you, but I see you.
Yeah, I see you too. Just barely in the mirror, there's a black smudge behind me. Sometimes being Smoky Boy is a good thing. There may be some man pads around these lakes, I'm not entirely sure. Oh my god, we're trimmed to fly level, hands off, except for the roll tendency from the asymmetric loading. Rare as fuck. Does have all that face drag too, yeah. You're gonna land with one hell of a hairdo.
Oh yeah, Jesus Christ.
See that thing, I don't know if you're in the DCS multiplayer addicts group on Facebook, but somebody posted an A10 pilot who lost his fucking canopy. Like, he went to fire the gun, it misfired, and blew the canopy on him.
Oh,
And so he had to belly land the thing without a lid.
Oh, fucking hell. Bloody yeah.
Apparently it's not pleasant having the air rushing around your head at about 300 knots.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm from Edmonton. I've just been here for a very long time, so I've lost the accent.
Free air conditioner.
Yeah, right. He couldn't eject either because he didn't off the misfire and fucked up the seat.
Yeah, true.
I actually, I saw someone else in town here the other day, and I don't live in a big city, I live in a country town. I saw someone else in town with an Oilers jersey, so there are either other Canadians around, or at least people who know about the Oilers around here, which is interesting. Wouldn't have guessed it. Would you say you're 1.5 for fuel?
Yeah.
You may as well RTB then. We're about 100, or I'm about 137 from home, so I can kind of linger around a bit longer. I'm still just on 2100 now. Oh yeah, that might be why, by the way, aside from the additional drag of not having the canopy, which I don't know if that's simulated. What throttle settings are you flying at? Just in cruise flight? Mil?
Yeah.
That might be why. Yeah, no, come back to like 90%.
Okay.
You should be able to hold speed at about 850, 800 at 90%.
Yeah.
Is there hockey in Australia, like minor league or anything? Yeah, there is.
Just a little bit before the.
It's not huge, but there is hockey here. Guy that was in my unit when I was in the Army Reserve used to play in the local team.
His home play was 078.
Bruh, have you not got your RSPN set?
No, I don't actually.
13 for Kataisi.
Okay, cheers.
And ARC is 3-1 channel 4. Be careful, because I think there might be man pads on this end of the lake. Hey Soupy, thanks for the follow. Yeah, so there are some games out here. There are ones that I used to go watch in Sydney, which were all Canadian, American, Swedish, and Russian expats.
PRMG thingo?
I wouldn't bother.
Yeah.
Just go main RSPN channel 13. And Newbie, thanks for the follow as well. Yeah, so I used to go watch these games down in Sydney every winter Australian time, so like July here. And they were really good games. They were really fast and aggressive. Like, you know, the kind of what makes amateur hockey great. They were really fast, aggressive players, but they didn't have the professionalism of the NHL guys. So the plays are a bit sloppier, but man, the puck moves so fast. I mean, it normally moves fast, right? But it moves so quick. You just see it going end to end. You get goals fucking everywhere. Oh, great.
Did you say it was 3-1?
Sadly, 1-3. Oh, for the ARC? Yeah. For the ARC, yeah. Sector 3 dash fucking 1 whatever, channel 4. But just set the RSPN, like, I just use the ARC as a fallback. Unfortunately, the rink that we used to see them play at got sold off and is getting redeveloped. And now there's no games anywhere I can get to watch. But probably within the next year or two I'm going to be moving, and I should be able to watch them then.
On the HSI thingy.
The needle with the dot on one end and the open circle on the other is the RSPN indicator. Just make sure you've got the K flag so it's actually on the signal. You'll see the distance ticking down anyway if you are. If you haven't got signal to it, you might need to climb up a bit because we've got mountains between us and the airfield, obviously. But yeah, I reckon if it wasn't for the fact that the climate here isn't really conducive to it and ice rinks aren't that common, I think hockey would go huge here. Like, it's everything Australians love about sport. It's fast, it's violent, and there's always a fight. Yeah. I was back home last year, right around the end of the Stanley Cup season. And it was awesome. I got to actually sit, like I used to when I was a kid, I got to sit in my uncle's basement watching his big screen TV, watching the Stanley Cup finals, drinking fucking Molson and Caesars. It was great. I missed it so much. It was like, it's weird. Whenever I go back to Edmonton, it's like I never left. Like, even though the town's changed, it just feels right. It feels like home. I mean, I was 4 when we moved to the UK, and then I was about 7 or 8 when we moved here. But I've been back to Canada enough times that it's never really felt alien. It's always felt like home. So, I want to get back there again soon. I really miss it already. And the climate here is killing me. My apartment currently, well, flat, it's not really... Apartment is a high-class word. My flat smells like smoke because there's a major bushfire that way, there's a major bushfire that way, there's another major bushfire that way, and I haven't seen the sky in about a week because of all the smoke. It was 42 degrees Celsius yesterday, and it's about 50 in here because the place has got the thermal qualities of a pizza oven. So, I mean, I always kind of wish I could just go home and stay there. If I had the money to move, I would. But, especially in the summer, I really get homesick. This climate is ridiculous. Yeah, this is... I mean, a lot of people are trying to downplay it because, you know, it's politically convenient to downplay it. But this is the worst bushfire season that my state has ever had. The area that's been burnt off so far is the size of the entire southeast of the UK if you totaled it up. Just one of the fires is up to like it's near 1 million hectares, I think, just one fire. Most of them are in the 200 to 500,000 hectare range. The air quality in Sydney is like 11 times over the safe limit. The air quality here is even worse, which is why I haven't gone outside much aside from to go to work. Firefighters that are dealing with it at the moment are mostly volunteers. So the urban firefighting brigades are professional, whereas a lot of the countryside stuff is volunteers. So they're not even getting paid to do this. A lot of them have lost their own homes while they've been protecting others. Two of them were killed in a truck rollover when a tree fell in front of them. Just like 2 days ago, both in their 30s, both with newborns, sadly. I think we're up to about 5 or 10 that have been hospitalized with various injuries. One got hit by a car and smoked the other day. A bunch of them got overrun by a fire front and burnt. It's just really, really bad shit. Like, really, really fucking bad shit, and the government is doing absolutely nothing. Especially not owning up to the fact it was their fault in the first place, because none of the usual fire management that happens during the winter in this country was able to happen recently. They've been slashing jobs basically within the Parks and Wildlife Service, who are usually the ones that control, backburns to get rid of fuel and try and limit the areas that can burn off. So about a third of their staff have gone. And it's really overstressed the system. The climate has been too harsh for any controlled burns anyway, even during the winter. Like, our fire season this year started in the winter. That is how bad it is. And it's not just New South Wales, the other states are copying it as well, but New South Wales, I think, is getting it worst at the moment. So Lithgow, which is the next sort of major regional town from me, I'm situated in an open valley without much bushland, whereas Lithgow's in a very steep valley full of bushland and a lot of coal mines. Lithgow was expected to not exist, basically, by today. They had a fire sweep through there yesterday, which just kind of singed the outskirts of towns, and didn't quite get into Lithgow proper. But this is a fairly major town. It was expected to just not exist overnight. And there's a lot of small country towns, towns with a population of 100, 200, which don't exist anymore because they've been burnt out totally. The Heritage Railway out at Lithgow, I think, probably got burnt out again, judging by the fire map. I haven't heard any news on it, but the fire went right through there. They literally only just were ready to reopen again after they got burnt out in 2013. So, it's happened again. I don't know if they'll bounce back from it this time. Like, bushfires are something you just learn to live with in Australia, and you kind of, like, I meme a lot, about people building houses in the middle of the bush on a hillside and wondering why it burns down. And, you know, there's something to be said about that, but when it gets to this severity, that's because of just criminal mismanagement by the government. Absolutely fucking criminal. Meanwhile, the Prime Minister fucks off to Hawaii for a holiday. And is only coming back now because he realised what a PR disaster that was. I'm RTB. I still have enough fuel to fight. I'm at like 1,600 litres, but I may as well just land and rearm now while it's quiet.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just landing now.
No, Turnbull's not. Turnbull got backstabbed by Morrison. Welcome to Australian politics in the 21st century, where no PM lasts more than a year before they get backstabbed by their supposed closest ally, and then replaced, and then the country just descends even further into chaos. Turnbull wasn't a good PM. Morrison is a worse PM. Morrison is probably one of the worst leaders this country's ever seen. Certainly the economy under his watch has been just tanking non-stop. I mean, I could go fully into the politics of that, but you guys who have been here a while know what I'm like when I start on that. Suffice to say, they're trying to get blood out of a stone by making everyone too poor to be able to buy anything, because apparently that's how you make an economy do well. I don't actually believe for a second that they think that's how to fix the economy. I think they're fully aware that they're tanking it. It's just how they explain they're trying to fix the economy as they have their hand in the till and give away billions upon billions of dollars to their corporate donors and then retire to cushy positions on the boards of those companies. It's like an open secret at this point, but no one cares to do anything about it. They keep voting the fucking idiots in again and again and again. And the Labour Party is not exactly putting up any effective opposition whatsoever. They're trying to pander to the swing voters, which, you know, never ends well. Even if they win after pandering to the swing voters, you end up with some Blairite bullshit where they're just the Tories, but marginally less awful. At least it isn't just the US. It's fucking close. It's really trying. It is really, really trying to catch up. It's like the UK as well. I miss England and I wish I could move back there, but the state the UK's in these days, nah. I'd be homeless within 6 months and dead within a year probably, because I don't have the money to survive in that country anymore.
Are you gonna come right over me? That's sick. I did a bit of a runway incursion.
But yeah, Australia's going down very much the same road that the UK is. And the UK is going down very much the same road that the US is, so I don't know. World's not in a good way at the moment,
that was
sadly.
beautiful.
Hardest airplane in the game to land, according to Reddit, by the way. And YouTube commenters.
That was like an air show.
I probably should have done the actual check airshow routine and popped the chute before the wheels were on the ground. I can do that in a Mirage. I don't think I've done it in 21 yet.
Yeah, I can't do it either. That's hard.
Well, I mean, the main thing is the Mirage, the chute's built out of fucking unobtainium and doesn't rip and also stops you instantly. Whereas the 21, if you're going above 280, you're basically ready to touch down anyway, right?
Yeah.
The 21's easy to land. The problem is that so many DCS players are spoiled because they buy the Hornet or the Viper or something, or the F-15 as their first module. The F-15's not fly-by-wire, but it has a very simplified... the flight model's allegedly very good, but the controls, we'll say, aren't. So it behaves kind of weird. But people buy the Hornet or whatever, a fly-by-wire aircraft, or the Mirage, and they
the best
come in.
type for the MiG-21?
I just on the 19. I don't know. Roll with whatever, I guess. They come to the MiG-21, an old-school mechanical control aircraft with some longitudinal stability issues that are easy to cope with if you know. They come to that from the F-18 and they think it's hard. It's not. This is fucking easy. So easy to fly. See, the high landing speed doesn't really bother me because I have a really weird habit, and I do this in real life too. I have a really weird habit of coming in fast and low. So a lot of the time in the 21, I did use full flap there. I've reset it to take off. But a lot of the time in the 21, I'll just land on takeoff flap and come in quite shallow. But even in real life, I have a habit of coming in shallow and off the center line. It's like I cannot be on the center line. I don't know why. Physically incapable of doing it. We'll just pull off here and rearm. Or refuel and rearm. Just leave the plane running. We don't need to turn it off, unlike the FC3 modules. Been bad at the video games today, don't know why. Oh, that sucks. I have those days a lot. I've got to try and find the trim neutral position here so I can set my takeoff trim. There we go. Trim neutral, and right about there should be takeoff. Yeah, I have those kinds of days. I feel like they're really visible in DCS, like you can tell when I'm having a bad day or I'm just not feeling it. Not even necessarily because I've had a bad day outside of DCS, just I can't fly for shit sometimes. "21 wants to kill you, or wants to kill me anyway." I just gotta get used to it, man. I have no trouble with the 21. It's a pleasant plane to fly. Also, speaking of guns and defending yourself against the corporations, I always love when people are like, "Oh, big government bad, big government evil, let's sell off more shit, privatize everything." Like, first of all, if you think government is anyhow or any way less efficient than a large company, you've probably never worked for a large company. Believe me, I have. They are a clusterfuck. Holy shit, they're inefficient. And incompetent, usually. And they have a lot of the same issues as government bureaucracy, just on a grander scale. The other issue is, you can somewhat defend yourself from a government. You can't somewhat defend yourself from a private entity headquartered in the Cayman Islands, which can literally afford to buy mercenaries. So I know which one I'd pick. Then again, there's a good reason I am flying a MiG-21 right now, and fly this so much. We'll just leave it at that. Ooh, rocking the East German skin there. Having a blast with Stormworks? I still have no idea what Stormworks is. I've not seen anyone play it yet. No political affiliations. Just ignore all that. It's fine. I will say I'm not a tanky. Don't worry, I'm not one of those. I'm interested in Soviet history very much because I'd rather we didn't make the same mistakes they did, not because I think they had the best ideas and did everything right. I think they had an admirable goal, they just did it a really shitty way, sadly. Stormworks is a game where you build boat. Ooh, sounds good. I actually got Simple Planes the other day, I just haven't played it yet. I have to build myself some planes in that. I gotta fix my KSP install as well, because I used to love building planes in KSP. But all my mods are broken, again. Mr. I'm doing my engine run-ups over here.
Just trying to text.
You know, I'm actually curious if DCS simulates the jet wash blowing on grass and trees and shit. I've never noticed before. It probably doesn't, but then again it simulates wing flex, so who knows. Please don't point your engines at me while you're doing that, because I know it simulates fucking weight turbulence on aircraft. Bear in mind as well, grass only draws out so far. and you're literally on the edge of draw distance for it. Oh well, who knows. Science for another day. He's not a tanky, he's a MIGgy. Yes, correct. Although I do love me some T-64s. I see a pair of cons over the airfield. I don't know if those are our AWACS or what. We should go find out.
Yeah, it looks pretty big. They haven't been quiet for a while.
Yeah, it's true. The AWACS is usually circling, but we'll see.
21-й, 113-й. Дайте курс на ближайшую цель.
I have to arm my guns, don't I?
Обнаружена цель. 1, 2, 1. Удаление.
Closest is allegedly 121 for 90 at 6,000, which is surprisingly high. I'm not sure if you're 100% aware of this, but any call out you get for 8,000 meters is their AWACS, basically.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
hang on, I gotta tab out and turn my music up. I love this song so much. We'll restart it as well. Oh, it's playing the whole album. There we go. Should be after this one. Can so easily make bows and slopes at different distances. Make a clamshell ferry bow. Build the MS Estonia. Do it. You can recreate an engineering disaster. The MS Estonia was a Baltic ferry that had a whoopsie in the Baltic Sea back in the 90s. It was the worst European shipping disaster since the Titanic. I mean, you can. You won't have the full length of runway, but you can. To be fair, I don't think either of us need the full length of runway.
Yeah.
Oh, Max, by the way, if you know Do Not Eat, go on YouTube and find Well There's Your Problem podcast and follow that, because he's doing that with a couple of other people. Namely, mostly his housemate and Alice Caldwell Kelly. Yeah, take off left. This song is so good. I'll just have to remember to turn it back down after this song, because this one's really quiet and everything else is really loud.
Ready?
I'm not entirely sure we actually do have enough runway here.
Don't have to use emergency afterburner.
Yeah, only one way to find out.
Send it!
Oh, fuck it, we got plenty of room.
Alright, let's intercept these guys.
I think those are our AWACS, they're turning now. Yeah, they will be.
Oh yeah, that's really good.
I wasn't paying attention during that call out. 134 for 30. Oh, I see him. Con, high right.
Yeah, eyes. Going.
IFF came back enemy.
Trial.
Yeah, that's enemy.
Yep. Alright, do you want to take lead? I take back.
Oh, is there two of them? Oh yeah, I see him. Yeah, you take back, I'll take lead.
I'm sending it up there.
Punching off the tank. He's seen us, he's turning in.
I'm still going for that guy.
Using the radar to fly myself onto him.
Merged.
On mine, you take yours.
Fuck, turning.
Box 2.
Attached. G-force. Fuck.
Box 2, splash.
Nice. I don't know where the other one is.
Go high. Drag him into comms.
Yep.
I think you can outclimb an F5 with that thing. You got a lot more power than he does.
Still don't
He's
see
on
him.
me, he just missile.
Okay. I see.
Yep, he's gone over the top of me.
I see. Climbing down now.
I'm on him.
All stars.
Box 2. Didn't track.
I see the missile trail, but I don't see anything.
We're in the weeds. Down low, slow. Stalled it. There we go. Box 2. Splash!
Nice.
He's still flying. Oh, no, he's not. He's dead. RIP! RTB.
Couldn't see anything. I ripped both my fuel pods off.
Yeah, I always rip the fucking tanks and the missiles off in the 19. It's so easy to do. Turn my music back down now. Sorry about the music volume. I got a little caught up in that dogfight, as you might imagine. Whew. That was fucking wild. Okay. Damn, dude.
Oh, 2v3. F-86.
I'm just pretty much over the river now. 12 kilometers from home. I'm going to be landing very heavy for a MiG-21.
Yeah.
I could burn off the fuel, but I've done this before, I'm not too worried. Be a good demo for the stream, I think. I might pop the tires. It depends on my speed. Like, you've seen how I eyeball shit, right? I basically do what I need to do to get the speed I want. I don't really follow any set pattern.
Off your right.
So like my last landing I popped the air brakes, but a lot of the time I won't. I could show off, but I don't think there's anyone on the ground to show off to. Sadly.
I'll form fly with you until you land, then I'll come and land.
Oh, I'm just about to hang into a really sharp base onto final here.
I'm on your 6.
This thing is so good at shedding speed. Not quite Mirage tier, but very close. It makes it good to land like this. Very easy. So as you can see, we're coming in flat, so I'm only going to go one stage of flaps for now. I might pop the second if I need it, but I doubt I will. Wheels down. Try and hold the speed around 350 to 380 is my approach speed, and then over the fence I drop it to about 300, 280 to 300 to touchdown. So here we go, we're going to come over the inner marker here at about
Fire alarm.
380. What? No, that's the marker, the marker.
Oh, okay.
Barely cleared the cables of the inner marker, which for some reason didn't go off. Put a bit more power on for blown flaps. Little bumpy because we are full fuel. This is way overweight for a MiG-21 landing, but we're down safe. We didn't pop the tires. It's all good. Again, this aircraft is a lot easier to land than people make out. Like, that was a really ropey approach and it still worked, so who cares? As long as you are on the ground safely and you don't break the plane, like, honestly, I don't give a shit. I do in real life, obviously, but not in DCS. Don't matter in DCS. Especially when it's only us flying from this airbase, I think.
And in.
Clear of the active. Let's watch Jazz land. Just make sure I'm not going to run into anything while I'm watching. Bounce through the ground on my screen. I really wish they'd fix that desync. So there's a desync issue in DCS multiplayer where the position of an aircraft is actually slightly ahead of where it is on their client. So for instance, if someone flies like 2 feet off the ground, you see them underground on your screen. And likewise, when you see someone bounce slightly on landing, they go through the ground and then come back up. It's a little immersion breaking, I'll say. It's not a big issue, it's just kind of weird. There's that beautiful target-rich environment, which I like to see. Not too many, like it's not overbearing when there's 3 versus 2. There's enough for it to be challenging. When you get outnumbered kind of like 2 or 3 to 1, it starts getting a bit ropey. But like 1.5 to 1 to 2 to 1 is good.
Заправка по плану. Перезарядка по плану. Прием.
So put a little bit of a wait while we refuel. Not too long though, because that's pretty close to home base. I'm basically flying right overhead. Interesting. Oh, we changed the skin. Interesting fact about the MiG-19, if I can get it to show on screen, my canopy's kind of in the way. This little thing, the 4 holes on the tail fin, that's a flare launcher, so he's got 4 signal flares in there. Red, yellow, white and green, not in that order, but those are the colours. And so there's a series of buttons in the cockpit. The MiG-15 has this too, where you press the button and it fires out a signal flare from the side of the aircraft. It's not intended to decoy missiles, it's intended to communicate. Because quite often, especially in the World War II era and then through to the early 60s, a lot of military air bases didn't have air traffic control at all. It was essentially some guy with a very pistol that would go outside and fire a coloured flare into the air. And the aircraft had a similar means of communicating. So for instance, I believe in World War II, American bombers, when they were returning to base, I think it was a yellow flare if you had wounded on board. Like, different colours meant different things. So the MiG-15 and the MiG-19 and DCS both have that system, and it's functional on both of them, but the MiG-21 doesn't. So we've got 2 F5s and an F-86, which will be interesting. I'd like to see some more Vigans in here. Vigans are fun to fight. And they're really awesome looking planes. Just seeing that big black double triangle. It's fucking awesome. You can also typically tell what's a Vigan and what's not, because if something's going at like Mach 1.3 on the deck, like not even 5 feet off the ground, it's a Vigan. They're the only ones crazy enough to do that. They're very hard to catch in the MiG-21 at low level. This thing will catch them at high level, but at low level, your overspeed is like 1300. That's kind of the area you don't want to be going, and through past about 1350 to 1400 is where the engine will flame out on you. And trying to restart the engine at low altitude while you're dogfighting someone is not a pleasant experience. I've done it many times. So you've got to be careful when you're chasing Vigans. You've got to try and either catch them by surprise, intercept their course so you can kind of turn onto them rather than tail chase them, or get them while they're distracted. And quite often they will outrun your missiles as well, that's the other issue. I think we're ready to go. I think I have been for a while, I've just been too busy chatting. You all good over there?
Yep.
God, the MiG-19 is so pretty.
It is. MiG-17 was awesome.
What's your accelerometer peaked at? Oh, sorry about that, I kind of cut in front of you there.
Is that the indicator just above
the range for the gun sight, I think, or whatever. Yeah, like top left of the instrument panel.
It's just at 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you sure? It should go from like -4 up to +10. It's on the. It's kind of off the dash on the top left, kind of like bolted on an angle bracket.
Yeah, it's just behind the 2.
Huh.
Maybe I've broke it. I don't know.
I doubt it. No, I mean, like, not what's the needle at. There should be 2 very thin red needles that stay in place. Yeah, what's the top one at?
So 7?
That's not bad. That's why you lost the tanks, though. You lose the tanks at about 5 or 6, I think, and you lose the missiles at about 6.5 or 7. Wait, no, 7.5, I think. Mine's at 8.
Yeah.
So still technically within the service limits of what a MiG-21 BIS can do. The early MiG-21s I think was 7.5, and this is 8.5, I'm pretty sure. I think the 23 is 8.5 as well. Or the 23 ML, the early 23s are like 7.5.
It's quite slow in a dogfight, the 19.
Yeah, it's much more difficult to control than this, I find.
Yeah.
It behaves kind of like a MiG-21 almost, like with the
Yeah.
runaway acceleration and the very kind of difficult flight control at high alpha.
Yeah, definitely.
I say this every time, but I really can't wait for the 23. I want to see what that thing handles like.
That'll be beautiful. Yeah, I'll be flying that non-stop.
Imagine the fucking speed, my dude.
Just low level fucking...
Casually out-accelerating basically everything else, except maybe the F-15 and the F-14B and the MiG-29. But even like the Soviets used the MiG-23 ML as their aggressor aircraft into the like mid to late 80s, and apparently they used to swoop MiG-29s with ease.
Nice.
Send it. Forgot to set my takeoff trim. One thing I'm not sure how I feel about the MiG-19 module is the way that the process for the gear in the MiG-21, how you've got to actually physically do everything.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I like that or if I don't, because in the 19 it does it automatically.
Yeah, it does, yeah. I don't like... it's kind of hard with the clickable cockpit, like you gotta move the mouse.
See, I've got it bound on my HOTAS and it actually kind of works like that. But yeah, with the mouse it was annoying before I set that up.
I do it before I take off. I hit the gear thingo at neutral, wherever it is, and I just click G. I'm just gonna try something, don't get alarmed.
Oh god. I'm gonna make a right-hand bank.
Yeah, I just knocked both my fuel pods off.
Ah, okay. Hey Dibbo, we're on Cold War, dude.
Pass.
We just had a wild brawl with some F5s. The way that thing catches the light as it loops over the top. Oh man. I wish that stream encoding didn't knock a lot of the image quality out, because that would have been gorgeous.
Oh yeah. Hopefully one day we'll get this pure source game quality.
Yeah, if anyone's internet or fucking video card could handle it. Nick Gray posted something about missiles. Yeah, they did stuff to the 120 to balance it out or fix it, but apparently now it burns infinitely. Like, it never runs out of energy within its range, which is just... Supposedly they're going to rework all the missiles, but this is not a good fix until then. And I feel like a lot of it was from blue players whining that suddenly their missile wasn't the best in the game anymore. Oh, the Jeff has a better missile than us in specific cases because the 120 still handles better in a lot of ways. Oh. And we can still carry more of them, how terrible. For those new to the stream, I have a massive chip on my shoulder about blue players, to be honest. Because they typically complain if they don't have the easiest to fly, easiest to win with plane.
Well, too, I don't know, but it's a lot like this stick.
And you'll see like a massive overlap between the people who fly the Hornet with double racked AIM 120s and people who think the MiG-21's too hard to fly and don't even bother trying. Sorry, say again?
I noticed the MiG-15 had a control stick a lot like the BF-109.
Yeah. The Soviets originally had spade grips like the British, and then they kind of, I think, after the war, like, hey, this is a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
Yoink!
Yep.
Whereas I think the Brits yoinked the whole joystick thing off the Americans. What's the team balance? It is a target-rich environment, and we're making a good account for ourselves, as you can see. .120 has had very poor aerodynamics modelling, but the recent change actually decreased its range. I think the main issue is burn time's too short, but I'm not sure. I think guidance is a bit too good too, but not sure. Now, allegedly they've done something which does technically decrease its range, but it's on power the whole time. That's what I heard. Which is kind of like, what the fuck? Really, what they should do is make the missile behave like the real damn thing. Whether or not it's better than the SD-10 in real life, it should behave like the real damn thing, as should the SD-10. I don't care if it's balanced or not, fuck balance. If I can kill the average shitter in a Hornet with an aircraft 30 or 40 years older than his, and no active missiles, they can learn to fucking fight with the AIM-120 against the SD-10. I really have no sympathy for blue players at all. I missed that call out. Well, they can at least get it close, you know what I mean? From what we do know about the missile. 096 or 26, 3000. Radar on. I see him. Bag gone.
Following you. Eyes 2. I'll take right.
I'm locked on one of them.
Just take whatever. I'll try and go for the guy who's overtaking now. He's dropping down.
Yeah, I think I'm on top.
And merged. One's on me.
I think the server just crashed.
I'm still up.
Well, that guy just froze in the air in front of me. He's now missing a wing regardless. I don't see you or the other guy.
I'm high, diving down now. I don't see the other guy either.
I see something.
I'm next to you.
Yeah, I see him. He's on you. He's on you. Keep going. Keep going. Drag him left. Go left. Go left. Okay, keep going left. I'm pulling on. He's broken off. I'm chasing. Box 2.
I ripped off both my missiles. Going guns.
Splash.
Nice. Nice, nice. There's one more up, I think, F-86. Okay.
Where?
I don't know where, I'm pretty sure I saw him.
You're circling in behind me now?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay, I'm climbing.
It's just one guy. F-86.
AWACS doesn't seem that call outs for their AWACS.
Heck.
There we go. 108 for 140 at 7,000.
Okay.
Interesting. Unless they have a second AWACS and it's slightly lower, but usually they're at 8,000. By the way, the AWACS in this server are destructible again. I tested it earlier.
Oh, nice.
Just good luck to us getting there. Oh, we made him rage quit, my dude!
Hey! See ya!
MiG-21 supremacy. The balalaika strikes again. Come back to standby.
I actually have no idea how to use the radar on this. I don't even know if it locks onto things.
It automatically locks. So you see the box at the bottom center? That's the lock box. It'll go for the first thing that comes inside that.
Okay.
It's actually the first radar with track while scan, but it's really ghetto, and it was unintentionally track while scan. So it's a gun ranging radar, right? You have no radar missiles. It's just to range the gun.
Yeah.
Basically, there's two antennas. There's the one on the top of the nose, which I believe is the tracking antenna, and there's one in the middle, which I think is the lock antenna, or it could be the other way around. So that's why there's two radomes on it, is there's two actual individual antennas.
Oh, okay.
And you can actually turn off the tracking antenna, or like the search one can stay on, but you can turn off the tracking one separately. I just don't remember which switch does it. 097 for 90.
See a blue smoke. I think it's
Yeah, that's a ground target. Be careful around the smoke because I think there's man pads. So yeah, basically, it's a very, very primitive radar set. The MiG-17P has the same thing.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
Yeah, they did, Dibbo. If you want, you can back out of the server and come back as blue. We will happily kill you. I think this is the best run I've had on Cold War. Like, 5 for nothing. That is really, really good. Admittedly, it's been 2-on-2, but still, 2-on-2 is an even fight. Had a few close calls, but we have not died yet. That's how he works. That's also their AWACS.
Is this sneaky FX?
Dibbo's come back in on blue, so we have some opposition.
Nice.
Also, safe fuel.
I'm at. Wait, is it the It's the same looking indicator as the MiG-21 with the yellow circle. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're in the 19. Yeah, it's the same one. Yellow circle on the dial is always fuel in a Russian aircraft.
It says it's at 13, but that can't be right. I think because I ripped my tanks off. It's
The MiG-19 also has a weird thing going on, I think, where the fuel tank doesn't, or like the fuel gauge doesn't register the full tank. It only registers the last however many liters, kind of like the Axe. But I could be wrong on that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's bugged out.
All right, just
Sample at max fuel.
yeah, just stay out of burner and it should be alright. Oh, I'm getting pinged, probably by their air defense radar. Or it might be, no, it wouldn't be here.
No, I'm in front of you, pretty sure.
It's coming off my rear right.
Getting something on the radar. It's my 2 o'clock.
That might be me. 2 flares.
Pretty sure you're behind me. Don't see.
I don't see you. I'm just flying along a river valley now, above it. That's Tbilisi off our left, by the way, off our 9, so...
Okay, I'm at Angel 7. Oh, sorry, 5.
right turn. Now getting pinged from 2 directions. And the
Chuck
fire's
my-
gone silent.
Signal flares out.
I don't see anything.
I hit them. Hang on.
Make sure the switch is actually on, the power switch is on that same board.
Oh, right.
Nope, I'm blind.
That's weird.
When you say Angels 5, do you actually mean 5,000 feet, or are you at 5 kilometers? Because if you're at 5 kilometers, that might explain it. I'm still at, actually, I'm at about 4, so 3 or 4.
Kilometers, yeah.
Well, I don't see you. I'm getting painted again off my right, but that'd be by their AWACS or their air defense, because that is literally the, that valley down there off my nose now is too easy. RTB, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just gonna mill power it back home, I got plenty of fuel. Hey, we got another MiG-19 in the mix.
Yay.
I'm still 160 kilometers out and I got fuel for days. I think I'm just going to burn her up to altitude.
Yep.
Get home a little quicker. Another guy just joined as well, who I see on Just Dogfight somewhat regularly.
Cocky. Sorta want to fly a MiG and goddamn, I can't really be stoked.
Doing Mach 1.3, about 1,500 kilometers an hour true airspeed.
Just gonna send an afterburner.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Can I join Blue just so I can rage quit? You are more than welcome to. Like I said, I enjoy a target-rich environment. I noticed something about this module the other day.
Yeah.
The trim hat, when you move it, it actually clicks.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
Just like the real thing.
It's nice. It's very satisfying.
It's very satisfying on the real thing too.
I imagine.
Okay,
That's
we're
gonna be so
at
neat,
our
I'll just plug it
VNE.
up. Oh my gosh.
Currently doing Mach 1.65. I'm only at about 20,000 feet though, so that's basically VNE. I've had this thing up to 2.15 before, which is...
What the fuck?
Yeah, that was at like 50,000 feet trying to catch a B1, and I ran myself out of fuel. And then glided for like 100 miles because I was just so high. It doesn't matter, it doesn't glide well.
Yeah. I don't even know if the V can go back to...
Pretty sure the Vegan can. I know it's extremely fast on the deck. I'm pretty sure it can do 2 at high al. You just never see them up that high.
Yeah. Things I would do for a JA-37.
Yep. Okay, I'm down to 450 liters. I should probably stop burning now.
Yes, my fuel gauge is never reading correctly, I think.
That's Kataisi down there, so we're nearly home. No big concern. I'll just come off the power a bit and let it glide down. Gonna grab myself a quick drink while this rearms. I need some food too. I kind of want to eat, and I don't like eating on stream, but I also kind of want to keep streaming because this is going really, really well. So we'll see. I also have very little appetite over summer. It's literally too hot to eat, basically. So most of the summer here, I just survive on a diet of ice cream and beer because I can't tolerate anything even room temperature in this heat, let alone hot. Which sucks, because I like hot food and spicy food. But it's not ideal in this weather. You know what's really sad? If those F5s had thought to bring the F86 with them, he might have actually been able to deal with one of us while the other was distracted.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I don't even know what happened to that first guy.
The first guy either lagged out right in front of me or disconnected because his plane literally froze in the air in front of me. So I just was like, okay, well, either the server's shut out and I'm about to get kicked, or he's shut out and I may as well just guns kill him anyway, otherwise he's gonna fucking come back in and abuse that, so... Like, I had him bang to rights when that happened, so it would have been a kill anyway.
Yeah. Airfield's in sight.
I'm just coming over it now. Got a question for me? Shoot, I'll answer it once I'm on the ground. We'll go full flat this time because I'm quite high and quite close to the airfield. We'll now drop the wheels. Don't need to use a speed brake. We'll just shed it naturally in the turn. Should it Sabre or MiG-21? I don't know. That's a question I can't really answer. The MiG-21's more useful. I mean, really, the Sabre doesn't see much use unless you want to just use it for dogfighting with friends or single-player stuff. There's the career server, but it doesn't seem very active. Whereas the MiG-21 it's at a disadvantage in most servers, but it's still usable. Whereas the Sabre really kind of isn't. I personally am biased to the MiG-21 because I really love flying this plane, but that's a personal preference thing. I think you're going to have to figure the answer to that one out yourself.
So close to running out of fuel.
Keep some airflow over those blown flaps. Whoop, whoop, she's a bit floaty today.
I'm gonna come in from the direction you're landing in.
She gets so floaty on the last fuel tank. I've got 200 liters left.
Oof.
Yeah, it felt really floaty compared to how it usually does there because I was coming in full flaps.
Yeah, you should see me coming in on your nose.
With almost no fuel. Yeah, I see you. I'm going to take the next turn off so I'm out of the way.
Fucking literally on zero the needle.
Chute's still out, that's why it's dragging me off to the side. Clear the active.
Rog.
How are things going? They're going alright. The power seems to have stabilized. This was just because, like, yesterday was such a bad heat wave. Pretty much the entire state had their power on, and one of the major fires was burning through an area where the nearest major power station is, so it may have fucked with their transmission lines or something, or they may have actually had to shut down the power station, I'm not sure. Little bit of a bounce, not too bad though. Right, there we go. I'm gonna grab a drink. Be right back.
Yep, same.
There we go. What did you do, Dibbo? What did you do? Oh. It's just Dibbo now on the other team. And our MiG-19 buddy has left us. He scared off all the competition. God damn it.
Командир, борт заправлен.
There we go, we are refueled. Just gotta wait for the rearming and then we're good to go again. Although, like I said, we're just against Dibbo. I'm almost tempted to switch it to the 19 so we can be like two MiG-19s against an F5, so it's kind of a bit more even, I guess. Like, we're a bit handicapped in that regard, but I don't know. I want to keep the same aircraft flying, so we'll stay in the 21. Okay, canopy's locked. We're good to go. We'll just remember to reset the takeoff trim this time, otherwise that could be unpleasant. Oh, he flew off into the infinity, I see. Where the fuck are you going?
Hey, I thought the turnoff was up here. Oh my lord.
It is if you want to use that much of the runway. I'm using the whole thing.
Oh my god, I went to the grass!
Rip.
Oh, why DCS?
I look behind me, there's just this massive pile of black smoke as you're trying to get out of it.
Fucking hell. I think I might take a break, get someone to hit.
Yeah, no worries. I'm kind of thinking about getting some dinner myself.
But
Yeah, I'm getting pretty hungry, so I might actually just do one or two more flights and then jump off. So this will be probably my last stream until... Oh, actually there's a 3:45 mission tomorrow morning. If I'm awake for that, I'll stream it, but I might not be. I might sleep in. Otherwise, this will be my last stream for probably the next week or so. I'm going to go out and stay with family over Christmas, so I won't be streaming. I will be on Discord, so I'll be hanging around chatting with people. I just won't be able to play anything or stream anything. But after that, should be back to normal. Get dinner, you need you look like you need sleep. I always look like I need sleep in summer. Summer is just, it saps my will to live, basically. I get fatigued really easily. I don't get much sleep because of the heat, and what sleep I do get is usually at weird times or like interrupted. I don't actually feel that tired right now. I'm just hungry, because I haven't eaten for like hours and hours and hours. What even is self-care? As a streamer, I do not know. Alright. You're not on the runway at all, are you? Oh, he disconnected. Never mind, I'm done. That short-term memory, though. Jesus Christ. Still got Dibbo in here. See if I can find him and kill him. Thank you, Griffin. Merry Christmas to you as well. And a Happy New Year, hopefully. It's going to be interesting trying to find Dibbo now. So this mission setup, this is the what is it? Four Lakes, I think it's called, or something like that. Oh no, When the Mountains Cry, that's what this mission file is called. And basically we're trying to fight for control of a series of lakes in the South Caucasus. And what that means is everyone is flying low in the hills, so AWACS coverage is very spotty. And you need AWACS coverage in the MiG-21. You have very, very poor situational awareness. That is their AWACS. They just got called out. Let's see if there's anything closer. Don't know if Dibbo's even off the ground, to be fair. You are? Okay. Pick up a bit of altitude, I think. Not too much. We'll just go into a little bit of a climb. $7,000's kind of sus, it might be their AWACS. Usually the AWACS sits around 8,000 meters, so like 26,000 feet, something like that. But occasionally it does seem to dip a little below that and send the AWACS, or our AWACS, into saying it's at 7,000 instead. Not sure. Also, I think they have two of them, so it might depend which one's closest to me at the moment I call. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Huh? The red light hasn't come on yet on that display, but that one's on. It's nice that these actually work now for me. They never did before. I figured out why, because the texture mapping was incorrect. And I just never noticed it. I think it was because it got broken at some point during an update and it never got fixed. Or it may have got fixed after I applied my custom skin to the cockpit. But yeah, So I'm pretty sure that that light there is the I'm running out of alcohol, please turn me off light, because I've been flying this same aircraft for like over an hour now, I'm pretty sure. I've had the radar in standby for a lot of that, and active for like probably 10 minutes total. I can fight without the radar, especially since I'm only using heaters at the moment, but it's going to be very difficult to keep track of Dibbo without it. The lake's over there, one of the objectives. We'll just kind of faintly see the blue smoke. So I might go hang around over that to see if Dibbo comes to play. Still got a little bit of juice left in the belly tank, so we're going to leave it for a little while, let it empty out properly. It's nearly empty though. Dibbo, if you're listening at the moment, do you want to just do a gunfight above one of the lakes or something? Otherwise we're going to be looking for each other for hours and we're never going to find each other at any point, because it's just too many hills, not enough coverage. Alright. I'm going to jettison my missiles, so I'd recommend you do the same, just so nobody gets tempted. Watch somebody else join now. I'm sure it'll happen. Now I'm going to punch the belly tank off. So I think the lake with the coloured smoke over it, I think that has man pads. But if you see, like, I don't know, just head to that and give it a bit of a berth just in case. I'm on the moon. Oh, so that was you at 7,000, I guess. Oh, I see you. There you are. Let's see how long it takes the radar to burn out with the low coolant warning. There he is. so cool actually having the radar work properly after so long flying this thing as well. We just lost lock. There he is. Thank you, whoever just pressed a button. I don't want to take my eyes off him. I'll never see him again. There go his bags. I guess we've got a defensive set up here for Dibbo, because I basically turned onto him before he even realized where I was. But he's in an F5, so he should be able to fight his way out of this, I reckon. Try and keep one eye on him, one on the AOA. I'm not pulling too hard, I don't need to just yet. Once this gets down on the deck is when it's going to become real difficult for both of us. Oof. That first one looked like it landed in his lap, basically. Still flying though. Whoop. Careless stall. Phantom Knight, thanks for the follow, dude. Now I can check my alerts, now that he's got a nice vapor trail, making it obvious where he is. He's still flying though, so the job's not done yet. I think he's leaking fuel from one wing, from his left wing tank. I think I may have caused some systems damage too. Surprised that first hit didn't kill the pilot. It looked like it landed directly in the cockpit. Oh, nice! He's missing an aileron there as well. Oh, I made a terrible mistake there. Can I recover from it? Oof. I think he's gonna go in. Oh, no he's not. We've engaged the yeet switch, so we've got a much better thrust to weight ratio now, but at the expense of fuel. That was not intentional, but I guess it works. We'll use the MiG's ability to pull excessive angles of attack and not fall out the sky. And then stall because I wasn't paying attention. I think we're coming around for a head-on merge again. Yes, we are. I'm going to stick with it. Double down into the turn and just watch that AOA. Imagine Dibbo's having a bit of a handful there, keeping that thing in the air. Kind of another head-on setup, but not quite. Oh, he's climbing. Took the shot, but no hits. We'll use the MiG-21's better handling in the vertical to come down on him. Roll out. Catching him up. Setting up for an overshoot here. Pulling as much AOA as I dare to keep up with him in this turn without overshooting. It's going to scissor back in. Oof. Putting up a good fight, especially considering he's already damaged. Thank you for that, Titus. Oh, I think that might have been his other aileron. We're into a bit of rolling scissors here. This is what most MiG-21 and F5 gunfights kind of descend into. Very low level, low speed rolling scissors. Oh shit. Whoa! I think he might have just nicked me there with a shot. I don't know if he's going to recover it. Yes, he is. He got very close to the ground there, but he pulled out. My fuel situation's not looking so good. I need to come out of my emergency burner, which is going to cut my thrust to weight ratio back quite a lot. But this may end up being an endurance fight, basically. Getting quite far from home for me, so I might not make it back even if I win this fight. Oh, come on, MiG-21. Got to give him more lead. I always forget how low the muzzle velocity on the Gesha is. It's not too bad, it's just low compared to what I'm used to. Very close to a stall here. Which means he probably is as well. I think he's baiting me back towards Kataisi. It looks like he is. So yeah, I'm going to be within range of his air defense soon as well. Oh. Tricky move. But, oh, Dibbo! Oh no! Good fight, man. Good fight. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to make it home with this fuel load. It's like flying a brick. It was fucking intense, man. I'm a long way from home with 900 liters of fuel. Sorry, yeah, 900. So, yikes. First hit fucked me up. I'm surprised that that first hit didn't pilot kill you. It looked like it landed right in your cockpit on my screen. And I took one of your ailerons off as well. We're just going to try and slowly tiptoe back to base on fumes. Let me try and figure out where I am. So that row of hills back there leads to Tbilisi, I think. I don't think we're actually in Tbilisi, but we're near it. So then that should mean that, yeah, I've got to get over this ridge line off my nose, and then Kutaisi is past that. I might just have enough fuel for it, but I don't feel like I do. Go ahead and set that back up for missiles, but we're going to turn it off anyway, because we're not going to be doing any more fighting. Get altitude for lower fuel flow. I could, but I've got to get the altitude in the first place. That's the issue. Hey, Captain Anoni. How are you going today? Unfortunately, I'm just about to end the stream once I land here, or belly land, I might need to do. But we've had a really good session on Cold War. 6 kills and no deaths at the moment. The last kill was a gunfight with Dippo. But before that I was flying with Jazz, and we were flying against a pair of F5s who left the server after about the 3rd time we killed them both. Whole plane was unstable, lost all fuel in one wing, plus the aileron. If I took it out of burner, I could not stay up. Gotcha. Yeah, that's one of the hazards of having fuel tanks in the wings. Wings are very easily hit, and you really don't want an imbalanced load in the wings. That is not good. With the amount of fuel I have, I don't think full afterburner would be a good idea. I'm still 111 kilometers from Kutaisi, which is the nearest friendly airbase. So I'm just trying to slowly get myself some altitude and then kind of tiptoe my way home. Oh, and the radar burnt itself out. There you go. At some point during that dogfight, the radar said no one left. Because we've been flying the same MiG-21 for well over an hour now, so it's definitely past the amount of coolant that the radar had. I think you have to do a repair to refill the radar coolant in the MiG-21, and I didn't really feel like doing one of those, especially since the last time I tried to repair this, it dropped it so hard on its nose wheel that it collapsed. I don't know if they fixed that issue yet. Thanks for the host. Vodka-powered radar. I mean, what other kind of radar would you use? So, we just got to get past these hills under my nose, and then Kutaisi is off in the distance by that bend in the river. So we're close, but I don't know if we're going to have enough fuel. I think we might just make it. So after I land this, I'm going to pass you guys along to somebody else, and I'm going to go have some dinner, I think. I've been playing DCS for so long I've forgotten what time it was, and I forgot to eat. Again. Just use the lazy man's autopilot here. Both the MiG-21 and the MiG-25 used alcohol cooling for the radars. MiG-23, I think, either used a different system or it used like a closed system where it didn't burn off. Because Apparently the MiG-23, you can run the radar as long as you're in the air and it doesn't have any problems. Be able to see the airport right off my nose. That cluster of buildings in the distance, that's Kutaisi. So I think we will actually make it. We might even have enough for a go-around if we need one. 7 AM, should go to bed, sleep well when you get it. Alright man, thanks for stopping by and thanks for the fight, that was a good one. And I will catch you probably either, I don't know, at some point tomorrow or after New Year's, probably. And if I don't see you before then, and this goes for everyone, if I don't see you before the end of the year, Merry Christmas, and have a very Happy New Year. I mean, you may as well use it for something, right? Kind of like using bread to get the alcohol out of shoe polish. People get very creative when they want to drink. Very creative. So I think I'm the only one left in the server now. Yeah. Just me. I'll probably make a highlight out of some of the fights we had against the pair of F5s that were on earlier. But pretty much the whole time we've been on this server today, it's been really, really good. Okay, we're going to get rid of the autopilot now and just fly it down by hand. Father of my friend said it tastes like plastic. I could actually picture that, yeah. That would make sense. A friend of mine, when I went up to his 21st birthday party, he had a still set up in his garden shed, and it was really good stuff he was making. It was really strong, but it was really smooth as well. So you drink it and you wouldn't realize how fast you were drinking it because it didn't burn like normal spirits do. That was a really good party. Really, really good party. No, I don't think I've ever flown from that airport down there. I don't know if it's actually got enough runway for a jet, but it's like a little civilian flying club or airport or something, maybe, or like a factory airport. But I've never flown from that before. I think I might have landed at it once when I ran out of fuel just short of Kutaisi proper, but I'm not sure. Got the good moonshine where I live. Oh, that's what you want. The good moonshine. Okay. Yeah, we actually are only just getting the 450 litre warning, so we have plenty of fuel to do this. And we've already slowed down enough to get ready to deploy the flaps and gear. Now, the aircraft's probably going to float a bit, just because we're so light without the fuel in the tanks. It shifts the center of gravity a bit as well, but it should be alright. So, first stage of flaps out. I'll probably use both stages because I'm quite high. Okay, second stage of flap. And we'll drop the wheels. I don't know what happened. That used to be a really loud thumping noise, and now it's just kind of a quiet click. I miss the loud thump. It sounded really cool. So we're coming in very high and very short, but that's alright, we can correct for this. Put some power back on for lift. Coming in about 310, 320. Just gently pop the air brake for a second to bring the speed down a little more. Beautiful. Shoots out. And get rid of that now. And now I get to go park the plane and get yelled at by the ground crew for bricking the radar. I didn't even overstress the airframe in any of those fights. I've only gone up to 8G. I think the MiG-21 business rated for 8.5, I'm pretty sure, 8.5. There we go. Okay, that's already... No, now that's turned off. I did it from the main power breaker instead of that before. That was already off.
Oh God, he's coming back. Get out of here, Pim.
There we go. All done.